All right, welcome. Today we're going to talk about something super interesting, a new way to learn using AI. It's called Mimwise. And really, it's all about this one powerful idea. What if you could actually remember what you learn for life, not just cram it in for a test?
Okay, let me ask you something. You ever have this happen? You study like crazy. You absolutely crush the exam, and then a week later, it's just gone. Like poof. It feels like it never even happened. We've all been there, right? And that feeling, well, that points to a really big problem in how we're taught to learn.
And you know, it's not just you feeling frustrated. This is actually part of a way bigger issue. We're talking about what some are calling a real crisis in education, and it's hitting everyone, students and teachers.
So let's look at the students first. Check out this number, 69%. That's how many students in the UK say they deal with exam anxiety. I mean, that's just a huge number. And think about it, when you're that stressed out, how can you possibly learn effectively? It's like putting up a wall before you even open the book.
And it's not any better on the other side of the desk, for the educators. The data shows that teachers in the UK are working over 51 hours a week. I mean, wow, that's a recipe for burnout, right? And when teachers are burned out, it's just inevitable that the quality of teaching is going to suffer. So the whole system is feeling the strain. So what's the core problem here? Well, it's that our whole system is pretty much built for short-term wins, for high test scores, not for long-term knowledge. And this leads right to something called the forgetting curve. It's a real scientific thing, discovered way back, that basically shows how fast our brains dump information if we don't try to hang on to it. In a way, we're literally learning how to forget.
Okay, so to fix a problem this big, a new app isn't going to cut it. What we really need is a whole new philosophy, a new way of thinking about what education is even for.
And this is where the big idea behind Mimwise comes in. It's a huge shift in thinking. Instead of just chasing test scores, it's about something they call retention as a service. It's a cool phrase, right? The point isn't just to get you a good grade. The real goal is to help you build knowledge that actually sticks with you, for good.
So, you're probably wondering, how does it actually work? Well, it's not some kind of magic trick. It's all based on a very specific, science-backed process. Let's get into it.
Okay, so the secret sauce is this really clever learning loop. It's just 3 steps, but they're super powerful. First, you write out an answer. You have to actually pull that info from your brain. Then, step 2, you get immediate feedback from the AI. And it's structured, not just good job. And here's the most important part. Step 3, you revise your answer using that feedback. This whole cycle of writing, getting feedback, and rewriting, that's what builds those strong connections in your brain. It's what makes the information stick.
And this whole thing isn't just made up. It's built on a rock-solid foundation of cognitive science. You've got active recall, which is basically test yourself first. Then there's interleaving, where you mix up topics to make your brain more flexible. You've also got the teach-back method, trying to explain it in your own words. It's the best way to see if you really get it. And finally, spaced repetition, which is all about reviewing stuff right at the perfect moment, just before you'd normally forget it. See? It's all based on actual science, not just Silicon Valley buzzwords.
But look, the method is one thing. How it's delivered is a whole other part of the story. And they've designed it to be really personal and, well, supportive.
And this is so cool. You actually get to pick the personality of your AI tutor. So if you're someone who needs a little encouragement, you can pick the supportive one. But maybe you're the type who's like, just tell me what I got wrong. No problem. You can switch to a strict, no-nonsense tutor. It's all about what works for you, because let's face it, we all learn in different ways.
And it gets even more personalized. The tutor isn't just text on a screen. It uses these animated avatars, kind of like you'd see in some video games, with realistic voices and even lip syncing. And the whole point of this is to make it feel less like you're talking to a cold machine and more like a natural interaction. And apparently, this really helps cut down on that learning anxiety, which is a huge win.
All right, so we've got a great learning philosophy and a really engaging way to interact with it. But what makes this whole thing a potential game changer is the tech that's running in the background. It's all been designed to be accessible to as many people as possible.
The key idea here is something they call frugal AI. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's about building smart AI that is really, really efficient. It doesn't need a massive, power-hungry supercomputer to do its job. It's lean, it's light, and that changes everything. So what does that actually mean for you? Well, it means this thing can run on a totally basic laptop. We're talking 4 gigs of RAM. You don't need to be constantly connected to the internet, and, this is a big one, all your data stays on your computer. Total privacy.
This whole offline approach means that powerful learning tools aren't just for people with the latest gadgets and super fast Wi-Fi. It's for everyone. Now, of course, this is still a work in progress. They ran a pilot study, and the results were pretty interesting. On one hand, you had some big wins. Students were really getting into that revision loop, and they said the feedback was way better than what you get from a generic chatbot. But on the other hand, there were challenges. The offline AI had a tough time with really complex stuff, and not everyone was a fan of the animated tutor. And honestly, it's good that they're open about this stuff. It shows they know what's working and what they still need to figure out.
So where does it go from here? Well, the vision for this thing is pretty big. It's about way more than just what they have right now.
Yeah, their roadmap is seriously ambitious. Right now, they're fine-tuning the spaced repetition to make it smarter. Pretty soon, they're looking to add tech that can actually read your handwritten notes and math equations. Down the line, they're even thinking about peer-to-peer learning. And the really big goal, getting a much more powerful AI model to run locally. We're talking a 7 billion parameter model, which, to put that in perspective, is like giving the AI a massive brain upgrade. It's a huge deal for offline tech.
And that brings us to this final thought, which I think just sums it all up perfectly. A real revolution in education isn't about inching up test scores. It's about creating knowledge that actually lasts, knowledge that changes how you see the world and what you can do in it. It's a really powerful idea. And it leaves you with a pretty big question, doesn't it? What if we all started learning? For keeps.